What's up, guys? Spaz here. Welcome to my channel. Need to do a vlog. Haven't talked to you guys in a while, and I've been promising that I would do this. So here we go. I have a lot to talk about. This is probably going to be the world's longest vlog. It's going to be a lot of rambling, a lot of ranting. I have a lot on my mind and a lot to explain to you guys because I think I really haven't communicated very well what's going on with me, what's going on with the channel, what's going on with all the Payday 2 content, etc., etc. So I think we have some catching up to do. So if you don't like rambling, or you don't like listening to me ramble, then turn off this video. The two questions that I'm going to answer in this vlog are the two questions I get all the time. I would say on any given day I get 5 to 15 messages, whether that's in comments or posts on Facebook, Twitter, or even my inbox on YouTube. The most common question is, where's all the Payday 2 content? And then the second question, which I feel is more important than the first, is what's going on with the channel or what's going on with me. But I can't answer what's going on with the channel without answering what's going on with Payday 2. It seems like my channel and Payday 2, they're almost inseparable, right? So I do need to answer that first, and then I will answer what's going on with me and what's going on with the channel. So what's going on with all the Payday 2 content? That's the most common question. And what's really annoying and kind of funny, now that I've slowly started to remove myself from the situation of YouTube and all the things surrounding my channel, people will literally message me 5 to 6 times within 8 hours if I don't respond to a question. It's honestly, it used to be something that would really piss me off, but now I just find it comical because I had an epiphany last night that the people that generally do that, they weren't even born when I first started playing competitive first-person shooters. So I don't know how or why I let them affect my mood, but I did at one point. But all right, let me stop rambling about that. We need to talk about what's going on. Where's all the Payday 2 content? I never thought that I would get to this point, and I don't want to say this, and it sucks to say this, but for right now I have uninstalled Payday 2, and I will not be playing it in the near predictable future. A lot of the reasons I've decided to do that are personal. Things that I don't really feel I can relate to you guys. I'm not going to sit here for hours on end explaining every little detail because a lot of it is personal, but the main reason as to why I've decided to take a break from Payday 2 is because it has been unhealthy for me. I don't think that by me not playing it, I don't want anybody to think that I dislike the game as a game itself. I just dislike playing it right now. The only thing that I dislike about Payday 2 would be the in-game system, but that's just a minor detail. That's not me saying, oh, the whole game's crap, so I'm no longer going to play it. It has nothing to do with that. It's me not being able to play it right now due to personal reasons and being able to handle the workload that would come with covering that on this channel. I just can't do it anymore, and I'm going to explain why it is I can't do that if we go ahead and start talking about what's going on with the channel. What's going on with the channel? That's a really tough question, and I can't even tell you to be honest. I'm still asking myself the same thing on a day-to-day basis. The last video you guys had was that I'm burned out vlog, right? And it was terrible. It was a shitty video. It was a lot of self-loathing and just a temper tantrum, a lot of frustration. But at the same time, it's nice for me to be able to look back at that because that was at the point when I understood that I was doing something wrong. But unfortunately, I didn't know what it was. And I think that's why you can sense such frustration is I understood something wasn't adding up, but I hadn't put the pieces together. And the reasons I hadn't put the pieces together is because I was trying to solve everything on my own. I couldn't figure it out. I would beat myself up, and I couldn't find the solution. And I'd get so frustrated. And it's like, this isn't that difficult. Other people are doing it. Other people are doing it, so I should be able to figure all this out. I couldn't figure it out. Now I'm at the point where about 2 weeks ago, I woke up and I've never felt so miserable in my entire life. My body, it felt like a wasteland. Literally, it felt like there was just acid pooling inside my body. I couldn't eat. I couldn't digest anything. And my ways of thinking mirrored how I was feeling. And when I woke up and I felt that, I felt this is unacceptable. Because I know this isn't right for me. I know I should be doing something different. I know that I can be doing better, and this way of life is not okay. So I finally admitted to the fact that I've been dealing with depression for quite some time now, A lot of it has been influenced by this channel, but I'm not blaming the channel because I'm the one that ran it. I am a firm believer in accountability. I think it's something that this world lacks. And I hold myself completely accountable for everything that I've done with this channel. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anything. It was all on me. But when I figured that out about 2 weeks ago, I started talking to people and starting to just really open up to a ton of different things, different ways of thinking, because unfortunately I find myself falling into traps repeatedly in my life, traps of certain ways of thinking that are just unhealthy. It's a big character flaw of mine, although I don't like believing in such things as flaws. I think every human being is perfect as is. But what I generally tend to do is I become a perfectionist, and that eats away at me. And let me just explain, I guess, before I go off on that and a side ramble, on a tangent. I hate when people always used to use that word in school, right? They wouldn't be like, oh, it's a side, or, on a side, or, oh, by the way. They'd be like, and on a tangent, and then they would, like, straighten out their tie. You know what I mean? Let me just start from the beginning to explain what's going on with the channel, or how I got to this point, because right now I am not in a good place. To give everybody an idea, as I posted on Facebook, right now I weigh 155 pounds at 6'1". I've lost about 30 pounds in the last 8 months. As I said, when I woke up, the way I felt, add that on top of it, something had to change, or something has to change, because right now I am still struggling to move forward. But let me tell you how I got here, because I think there's some valuable lessons for anybody who might be curious or who might be looking to start their own YouTube channel, because I made some big mistakes along the way, and I use that word very lightly, because with every mistake comes experience, and with experience you can grow. So I don't want to label it as a mistake, as if, oh my God, this channel's gonna die. I do agree that the channel isn't in the greatest place right now, but there's only so much I can do right now, and stressing over it and thinking that it's the end of the world. Oh my God, I'm losing subscribers, I'm losing views. That just contributes to the problem. So I'm removing myself from the situation, and I want to go back to the start here. I want to explain what had happened. So as you guys all know, and I've talked about this I don't know how many times, but the reason I started this channel is because video games are a passion of mine. I love video games, everything about them. Well, maybe not right now, because I am a little burned out. But that is the thing in my life that, it was honestly, video games are my biggest passion, because it was the thing in my life that I found on my own. I loved golf, and to a certain extent, I've always loved academics, depending on what it is that I'm studying. But video games was this thing that my brother and his friend, God bless them, they freaking introduced me to video games. And as soon as I was kind of mature enough or old enough and smart enough to go out on my own and venture into other games, I just took off with it. It was kind of my thing, right? It was my escape from certain things in life. If I was struggling, it didn't matter. I had friends on Battlefield 1942 that I could go BS with, and the day didn't seem that bad. I met most, or the majority of the people I trust right now in my life with advice, suggestions, anything. If I ever needed help, a lot of the people I would turn to, I found playing video games. Some of my best friends to this day are because of video games. That's why I started this channel. And at first, to be honest, guys, I had no clue what I was doing. The content I was making, no clue. I was just kind of screwing around, having fun. But it was fun, right? I mean, it was just this really unique experience to be able to consolidate all those years you've played video games into some of those initial videos and be like, here's me, and these are the experiences that I find fun, and yeah, hopefully you guys can relate to that. Not everybody will. You can't satisfy everybody. That's not the point. I just want to see if there's other people out there in the world that are similar to me, to find things similarly funny or whatever it might be. And I did that for a while, and things weren't catching on, but it wasn't that big of a deal. I wasn't too concerned. Yeah, you do get worried. Oh, I'm not going to get, I'm not getting a lot of subscribers. I'm not getting a lot of following, or I'm not getting, traction or anything. But oddly enough, all those things, in my opinion, work themselves out. Because eventually Payday 2 came along. And when that came along, I had no intent to make this channel focused around that. I didn't think anything of it. I just saw the beta, and I bought the early access, played the beta, and uploaded some footage. Noticed some people were viewing it. And I started to do some research on YouTube and noticed that there weren't that many people talking about Payday 2. And I was starting to learn some things along the way as I was growing obsessed with this game. I loved the game for just what it was. It was nothing more than a game for me at the time. And I would slowly, you know, pick up on things or come up with a build, and I'd put a video here, I'd put a video there, and it all came from the same place as my initial videos. It was fun, right? I mean, I was still enjoying the game. It was relatively new to me. And then, you know, you start to share that experience with people and you start to gain a following. I started to get traction and people started to respond. People started to comment, started to give me feedback, give me a ton of stuff, and my channel grew so fast and quite big for somebody that really hasn't been exposed to any of that stuff. And unfortunately, the problem is, guys, my focus somewhere along the line, and it was right around, now that I've had time to look back, it was probably around November and December, my focus started to switch. My focus switched from doing what I love, which is playing video games for the sake and sole purpose of doing it, because that is what I love, to doing it in order to play YouTube. That's what I was doing. I wasn't playing video games anymore. I was playing YouTube. Everything that I started to create was either to fulfill expectations of people that were sending me PMs or posting comments, or it was to get new subscribers, more views, get shares, get ratings. My focus went from something that was rooted in everything that is good and everything that is my passion to everything that I have never fit in with in other walks of my life. I understand business. I have a good business sense. I understand all that stuff, and I feel as though I would be good at it, but it's very hard for me to turn YouTube into such a thing because I don't want my passion to become that. I don't want my passion of video games to become a full-time job that I have to grind at. You see, when I decided to switch my focus, because it was a conscious choice, it's not something that I just fell into and I'm confused as to why. No, I made a conscious choice. I was in a pinch and I thought that it was the next logical step to go ahead and try to make it into a business, and it turns out it's not for me because I don't want to turn my love and you know, everything for video games into a job that I feel I have to do. So that's where I made the mistake. And unfortunately, when I decided to switch my focus, along with that, I brought in all these bad ways of thinking that I've had for the majority of my life. I don't really want to elaborate on it because a lot of it is kind of, I don't know, not wishy-washy. I hate that word, wishy-washy. But I have poor ways of thinking, and I don't have a lot of what's a good word here? What word am I looking for? Not self-respect. I just don't have a lot of self-confidence when it comes to certain things, especially pursuing things on my own. I generally tend to ignore everything that is going well. I tend to overlook my accomplishments and only point out my flaws. I tend to seek approval from everybody rather than myself. And that was what I carried over. So not only did I switch my focus to the wrong thing, but then I brought in this really poor way of thinking, this just absolutely terrible, self-defeating, sabotaging way of thinking. And it was destined to fail. I was destined to get burned out because I would read comments and I would read PMs, and rather than accept them for what they are, rather than accept that hey, people are actually interested in what I'm creating. They don't have to agree with me. They don't have to like it. They watched it. That's a good thing. I didn't think of it like that. I thought of it as, I'm going to take everybody's feedback, everybody's response, everybody's just anything, and I'm going to be everything for everybody. And I tried to do so much at one time. It was sickening, guys. The way I obsessed over this channel, the way I obsessed over becoming something more than I am, it drove me to this place of just absolute emptiness and loneliness because it wasn't fulfilling, because it wasn't what I wanted to do. All I wanted to do was play video games, but I lost myself. I lost myself in a big way, and now you can tell that the channel is suffering from it. It sucks, and yet at the same time, you know, I look at the channel and on a day-to-day basis, it's like, man, I fucked it up. I get bad. I fucked it up bad. There's no point doing this anymore because it's past the point of, you know, being able to bring it back. But see, that's the same sick way of thinking that I had that brought me into this place or this position in the first place. I got to stop. I have to snap out of that and get back to the point of, this is what I love. Hello world, this is what I love. If you don't love it, that's fine. If you like it, cool. We can, you know, it is what it is. But I can't make this into something more than it is, and I can't let myself fall back into these traps of letting other expectations or letting other people's opinions really set the tone for what it is that I want to accomplish. Because guys, all I wanted to do in the beginning was create a YouTube channel because that would focus on video games and be enthusiastic about it, having fun and maybe improving players that I feel like I might be able to help, all that stuff. And I wanted it to be from a good place. And the reason I've been so distant from everybody, and the reason I've, you know, kind of fallen away and haven't talked to many people is because I felt like I've ruined my passion, which was video games. For a while there, and even to this day, it's hard for me sometimes to wake up in the morning and get that spark to play something, because I feel like I beat myself up over this for so many months that it's going to take a little bit of time for me to relax and get some distance from this before I can wake up and go, God, I feel like playing this, or I feel like playing that. I would love to show somebody this and, you know, love to show somebody that, rather than the way it has been of, oh my God, I have to do this. I can't believe I have to do this. And then you find something that you're motivated to do and you spend a lot of time on it. And you know, like some of these recent montages, I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's a challenge to me. It's teaching me how to edit. It's teaching me tons of different things. I feel as though I'm putting out gameplay that you don't typically see anywhere else. I would spend all that time doing that stuff, but then eventually somebody would say something about Payday 2, or somebody would complain, and I would let that affect me. And that's such bull, you know? That is just me admitting I have no self-respect. To let somebody I don't know, let their opinions affect the way I think, that just means that you have no respect for yourself, and you can't set your own definition of success. You can't set your own definition of happiness. I'm always seeking for everybody else's approval, and I have to stop that way of thinking. I have to break all of my bad habits, guys, before I can get this channel moving in the direction I want to. Because right now, I'm not in a place I want to be. I'm not thinking clearly. I'm not thinking as a positive person. You've probably seen me on social media sites being a complete asshole. I've had to go out of my way to apologize to people I've played with in public lobbies of Battlefield 4 because I snap like that. I've been getting a lot of people who have been seeking me out to grief me. I let that affect me and my relationship with people I don't know. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable for me. And I'm not saying it's unacceptable because that's what everybody views it to be. I'm starting to define my own rules, my own way of life. I have my own voice. I'm going to do the things I want to do, and I'm going to be damned if I'm done with YouTube, if I'm done with video games, if I'm done with this and that, because I haven't been me for quite some time, and I know what my potential is, and I haven't been living up to it. I go back and I watch some of these videos I create, and I am proud of what I've accomplished, guys. I have grown this channel organically from the ground up on my own, without network support, without a bunch of self-promoting, without, well, I don't know. I kind of got on my knees with overkill for a little bit there, but I think that bridge has been far burned. But I don't do all that stuff because I don't believe in all that stuff. I don't need to be doing all that stuff. My work's going to speak for itself. And if people find it interesting, then they're going to share it. But I don't believe in this whole thing of I need to go out and self-promote and I need to do all this other stuff to become something more than I am. Did we settle a little bit there? I don't even know what I just said. I feel like Will Ferrell in Old School. What happened? What happened? No, a lot of this stuff, guys, I've been wanting to talk about, and I keep it like just inside and buried inside, and I keep secrets. And no, I don't want to disclose everything to the internet because the internet, unfortunately, isn't a very understanding place, in my opinion. There are things that I should have been sharing with people. There are things that I should share on a day-to-day basis with the people that are actually genuinely concerned about me and interested in what I do. And in that regard, I apologize. I apologize that I let you down because I should have been more up front with everything and explaining the way I felt and tell you guys. I should have told everybody when I started to get burned out on Payday 2. I should have said, hey, you know what? Like, I would love to do this for you guys. I really would, but I can't. I can't mentally play this game anymore. And so moving forward, let's start from there. Now that I've rambled for 20 minutes and 15 seconds, holy shit. Moving forward, it's a learning experience right now, guys. I'm doing things on a day-to-day basis in my own personal life to get back to a healthy place. A lot of it has been physical. Physically, I am suffering from just poor diet, poor sleep habits, poor everything. The fact is that if you let depression or you let poor ways of thinking settle in long enough in your life, they start to manifest themselves in your body. I never thought that I could be 155 pounds at 6'1". That's what I was in high school when I had just finished a growth spurt. It's unhealthy. It's not okay. So all I'm doing, guys, right now, talking to just tons of different people, actually. Tons of different, unique, fun people that I would probably never have talked to otherwise. Meeting tons of people and reading and learning about me and trying to get back to a place mentally where I know if I come back that I'm not going to destroy myself. I'm not going to self-destruct by letting outside forces dictate or influence what it is that I want to accomplish. And all I want to accomplish is convey to people that, I'm just a dude that plays video games and sometimes we can have fun together. That's about it. I don't need to be anything more than that. Because I look at the world right now and I think half the harm in this world is done by people that want to be remembered. And I feel like half the content on YouTube could be improved if we would let go of that. We're not that important, the people on YouTube. We're not. We're doing what everybody else is. We just have the unique opportunity to have a voice in doing it. So I don't know. All I want to let you guys know is some of you are probably going to unsubscribe. Some of you are going to unfollow because I'm not going to play Payday 2, and that's the way it is. I'm sorry. I wish I could tell you something different. I wish I could say that I felt like playing that game, but I don't. And that's the way it is. And moving forward, I can't continue to do the things I don't really like, the things I don't want to, and try to justify it because, oh, well, if I do that, then I'll make money doing it, or I'll get more views, I'll get more subscribers. Because when you fall into that way of thinking, or when I did, I'm not saying everybody's like this, because some channels succeed on the commercial side of things. They really do. But for me, when I start thinking like that, it builds and it builds and it builds and it builds, and I get all of these just pseudo expectations I feel I have to fill that probably don't even exist, and it just self-implodes. So when I do come back to uploading content on a day-to-day basis, I feel like I will be able to upload more often when I have a clear mind. Right now, like I said, some days I wake up and I feel motivated to play a video game. Other days, not a chance. And rather than try to pretend, right, or rather than try to put on a phony face, rather than try to act as though I'm having fun with this stuff, no. When the time's right, when I feel like playing some of this stuff, when I feel like it's a good time for me to upload certain things or maybe start a new Let's Play, that's when I'll do it. I'm not going to let the release cycle, I'm not going to let the self-promoting cycle or anything else influence what it is that I want to create and experience with you guys. But anyways, I wanted to do something special for 25,000 subscribers, but I hope this sheds light as to why I haven't. I feel a lot of people have either subscribed for content that I may or may not feature in the near future. I probably won't have Payday 2 content for quite some time. And I think that perhaps a lot of people may have subscribed for a person I really wasn't, because I don't feel like I've been myself for quite some time. And it's hard for me to celebrate those things and be like, yeah, go me, go us, go channel. By the way, have you guys not can you not tell that I feel like I'm in quicksand and everything's falling out from underneath me? You can't tell that with my lack of uploads and my just overall shitty attitude. It's hard. But the thing is, you know what? I know what my potential is, and I know what I want to accomplish now. It's just a matter of getting back to a healthy place to where I can actually take the first step in doing all that stuff. So anyways, guys, I rambled for years. Hope you guys wanted to listen to a vlog for 25 minutes because that's what you're going to get. We'll catch you guys later. Oh, I have some more vlogs and other stuff that I do need to work on. There are some other things I'd like to talk about. But, yeah, guys, just bear with me as I get through this. As you can tell, I'm a little bit more in better spirits now that I've had a couple weeks to work with people and make some adjustments in my life to slowly get into a better place. But I think we're only going to get better from here on out. But, yeah, that's it, guys. Done rambling. I'll shut up now. Coca.